Everybody. Welcome to week 3. Hi everybody, welcome to week 3. Um, this is going to be a fun week for you. There's a lot going on in our curriculum for this week. Yes, all of this is week number 3. The game is on. If you want to know, um, that's the truth. Okay, so here's what's happening. Obviously, you can see here the launch, which will be visible, including this screencast. You have a fairly complicated discussion about cultural appropriation that you were kind of looking at with the food articles, and this should take you a little, really actually into deeper complexity, which is what we want. We don't want to just scratch the surface. For fuck's sake. Welcome to week 3. You can see my little tagline moving from free-range discussions to templates, structured summary responses, and logical fallacies. So we got a lot happening this week. Yes, it's an asynchronous course. It is self-paced, but you're going to have to keep the pace going. That's the hard part when it's when you never show up to a class. You've got to kind of keep the mojo on high so that you can get the work done. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through. Here's where you're going to find this particular screencast right now. When I'm done, I'm going to post it here. You've got a fairly complicated discussion, a class discussion on cultural appropriation. It expands the ideas that we were looking at last week and actually complicates them, which is what we're looking for in higher education. We're not looking for, let's just scratch the surface and be able to tell what the surface looks like. No, in an argumentation class, I would say in college in general, but for now, in this argumentation class, we're trying to turn over stones and look at causes and effects and outcomes and complexity. We're not trying to make things as simple as they can be. So it might feel counterintuitive to ramp up the complexity rather than solving the complexity. But in a sense, we're doing both at the same time. We ramp it up and look at it. All right, quite a large section of your week will be pointed at the art of summarizing. This is in the They Say, I Say book, so you know now how that book goes with its. The readings are really pretty simple. A lot of sketches in there for you to use as samples in your own writing with using the templates that they've designed. Got another section on more, really kind of the deeper part of summaries. How do you write them? What are they? How do you write them? How are they graded? And have you ever written one before? And it's my understanding every quarter that students in lower grades don't seem to spend, lower grades than college, let's put it that way, don't seem to spend adequate time summarizing complicated material, which is, I would say, you do a lot of in college, particularly in your later years here at Cal Poly. You will do far more reading and disseminating of information of complex materials than and you need to be able to summarize them for, let's say there's a study in one of your sources, but you can't put the whole study in your paper, so you're going to have to be able to summarize it accurately for your readers. Anyway, that's probably what I find. Well, we just use summarizing all the time in college, and it's good to get used to the skill set of summarizing. Okay, and then you'll move from all right, I feel confident writing summaries. Now, how do I respond to that thing I'm summarizing? So this is the summary, getting you prepared for the summary response paper. It has, both an academic summary and a response to some issue within the article itself. I give you some samples here so that one of them even includes a screencast telling you what went on. This is another discussion. The first one is meaty, and I would say really this one here, a really deep thought. This discussion here is more, hey, here's what I'm thinking about writing my summary response paper on, and here's why. What do you think? So this one is to discuss with each other what you think you might choose as your article to summarize and respond to. Also this week you have what I'm calling a fast-paced micro module, and it is mostly on everything having to do with um, false narratives, um, logical fallacies, errors in reasoning, things like that. So all of these components, you can see how they're pretty fast paced. This little resource, How the Internet Tricks You into Thinking You're Always Right, is probably 3 minutes long, and it has an actual freebie with it, an extra credit quiz. Now, please, if you're bogged down with all this other stuff, that's going on this week, you do not have to do the extra credit. That's why it's called extra credit. You know, maybe you got enough on your plate and you can't get to that. That's fine. All right. You are going to need to know probably at least a dozen fallacies. So look at some of these fallacies in action with videos or examples. All right. Why fact check? 1 minute and 33 seconds. What exactly is fake news? 3 minutes. This is the CRAP test. It's really short. The CRAAP stands for, credibility, recency, whatever. You'll find out what the CRAAP stands for here. Okay. Let's see. Fallacies chapter from a previous text. I love this. It's from I just took pictures of it because I don't have a scanner that is operating here at home. So I'm just taking pictures and posting screenshots, which is what I did last quarter. It worked well. Here I give you a study guide. It is the actual study guide, list of fallacies and terms for the core concepts test midterm. Everything that's on this list is a potential for the core concepts test. I also now have given you, these are kind of long lectures, so you might want to split them up. They go fast because I'm not just sitting talking, I'm using images or showing you examples and samples. There are 4 screencasts, each around, I want to say 14 minutes. Probably you can handle sitting watching 14 minutes at a time. I don't know, maybe you can't. I think I can, but don't sit and watch the whole 14 minutes in a row. Rather than not watching it all, break it up a little bit if you need to, but do watch all of them. It's less than an hour of me lecturing and showing you a whole bunch of different logical fallacies. I give you examples, I'm explaining what's going on and how it might look on the test. Here's the core concepts test. Notice that its due date is not until April 23rd. That is right. It's not really due at the end of the week. It's sitting here at the end of the unit, if you want to call it, at the unit called Logical Fallacies, a fast-paced micro module leading to the core concepts test. So if you go through all of this, naturally you're going to click and end up at the core concepts test, which is our midterm. It only has 20 questions on it, and there's an answer bank, okay? And all of the questions are on this study guide, okay? I'll admit the test itself has like a drop-down menu, so it isn't the best for, the best, I don't know, what would you call it, function for taking a test in which you've got a lot of choices. The drop-down menu, it doesn't stay visible, but it's the only thing that Canvas had available for a multiple choice test. So again, you have until April 23rd. You actually have, once you look at the test and you click it, I think it says you have 24 hours to take it. So once you start it, you've got 24 hours in which to complete it. Not too bad, really. So don't start it until you're ready to face it, but don't put it off past April 23rd. Otherwise, it's easy to forget. Oh yeah, the core concepts test. So don't forget about it, but don't necessarily have to turn it, be done with it until April 23rd. So you have quite a bit of time. All right, there's a lot going on this week. It sounds that I just wanted to take the sting out of looking at how many things are listed in the week. Really, if I knew how to do it better, I would just make a module called From Summary to Response, and then you'd click the module itself. But I couldn't find out how to do that, how to put a module within a module. I don't think it's possible. I can only put these bold headers in here rather than actual little clickable modules inside here. Anyway, you get it. You've been a student forever. You guys probably can figure out by now what teachers are trying to get at with their organization. I hope so. All right, everybody, have a great week. Your third week of school, I'm sorry to tell you, but everything is cranking up around you. By the end of the third week, we instructors, by the